Hi, I'm Bill Donohue, President of the Catholic League. I'd like to take a minute or two to discuss my new book, Why Catholicism Matters. You know, throughout the ages, philosophers have always talked about the makings of the good society. What this book does is to try and demonstrate that the Catholic Church has had the answer all along. It is called the teachings of the Catholic Church. Now, I'll be the first one to admit that a lot of the teachers, namely the clergy, haven't lived up to those teachings. But that doesn't mean that the teachings themselves are flawed. They are not. I look at this book in the sense that we've got the four cardinal virtues, and I want to see how they are applied by the Catholic Church throughout history. The segment on prudence, for example, talks about the Catholic Church's contribution to freedom. We are the first major institution in the world to really deliver in an attack on the temporal powers on the state and to create an insular area for freedom so that the church could thrive and therefore others. We also worked against slavery over the centuries. Today we have a more corrupt understanding of freedom, as some people think the right to abortion is somehow a liberty that was meant to be understood throughout history. I don't accept that. In the area on justice, we discussed the role of the nuns, the heroic role of nuns in tending to the poor, the dispossessed, the hospitals, the orphanages, the immigrants, and in the schools. Then we turned to fortitude, the role of Pope Pius XII, courageously standing up against Adolf Hitler. No secular or religious leader in the world did more to undermine Nazism than Pius XII. John Paul II certainly undermined, along with Ronald Reagan and Margaret Thatcher, the Soviet Union. That's been acknowledged. This book details how he did that. And finally, we look at temperance, marriage, family, sexuality, the corruption of the idea of freedom today, that it means libertinism, license. People can do whatever they want. That's a self-destructive and a societally destructive idea of freedom. It's a corrupt notion of freedom. This book, hopefully, will appeal to practicing Catholics and also for those people who have been disenchanted about the bad news. A lot of this news has been self-inflicted wounds, admittedly. But we tend to forget about the great legacy of the Catholic Church. Young people in particular are growing up in a society where they don't know about the strengths and contributions of the Catholic Church. What this book does, and it uses the four cardinal virtues as its organizing principle, is to set the record straight on the great contributions of the Catholic Church, from freedom to marriage to family to fighting totalitarianism and to tending to the poor. Thank you very much.